Request accepted, now let's take a little trip. Listen along as 5 nerds spit. E3 Comic-Con, the forest of indoor. Talking about tech, sports, and so much more. We'll suplex your mind with our random topics. Pull up a chair and get your geek fix. No cheat code needed, just stay unseated. Pretty soon this epic quest will be completed. Our cast are full of passion and emotion. Pop the top on our 12-ounce mana potion. If I know one thing, I know it for sure. We'd love to have you join on our aimless adventure.
Hail, hello, hiya, and greetings. Welcome to the Aimless Adventure Podcast. This is podcast episode number 8. Ooh. We just got done talking to the Witch Doctor, which you will be able to see on a separate segment. But just real quick, we wanted to thank everybody. We've had a little bit of notoriety this week. We have been featured on Sports Illustrated webpage, Tech Times,
SB Nation,
USA Today,
Cinema Blues,
GameSpot, Kotaku,
yeah. GameFly, Netflix,
Games Radar, Yahoo.
Like 3 different Carolina Panthers websites.
The Arizona Cardinals.
Locally on ABC 15, the Arizona Cardinals, then 98.7 Sports Talk. Just thank you all for liking our video, viewing it, sharing it. We are humbled. This has been amazing.
At Arizona Cardinals and at Carolina Panthers, thank you so much for tweeting back and forth about it. That just made my day. You don't even understand.
Yeah, I about lost my shit when I saw the animated GIF of the dinosaurs. So that was
great.
That was great.
That was pretty amazing. But anyway, thank you all for joining us today. Like I said, we just got done talking to the Witch Doctor team.
You didn't
from BattleBots.
You didn't do it.
What didn't I do?
Hello, hiya, hail. And how
I did that at the beginning.
I didn't. That.
Yeah.
Too much OE.
Oh yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Never.
Not enough.
Never
Not
enough OE.
No, I'm pretty sure I did it. If not, I'm just going to paste it in. So whatever, it'll be there. It'll be there. So let's go ahead and get started today with our first topic, our current adventures, and we will go to Murph, who went to RetroCon this week.
Yes. Actually, it was last weekend, a week ago. Went to RetroCon that was held out here in Philadelphia. This is a small convention. It's not too small, but not too large. All about retro gaming and toys and pop culture from the 70s and 80s. Nice. To be honest with you, I actually enjoyed it a lot more in a lot of ways than Phoenix Comic-Con.
Boo.
One, because it had more that what I was into. You want to talk about old video game systems. They had systems and games there going all the way back to the Odyssey 1. Matter of fact, the only game system I didn't see represented there was the Vectrex. When it came to toys, they had every toy brand you could think of from the 70s and 80s there represented. They had a lot of guests, a lot of voice actors from a lot of classic cartoons, from G.I. Joe, Transformers, Thundercats, and so on.
Oh.
They even had the guy, I don't know if you guys remember a TV show called The Great Space Coaster. They even had a guy that had done that show. So
now, and you met a famous internet celebrity as well, too, didn't you?
You talk about the angry video game nerd?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I saw that picture. How cool!
So jealous of that.
He actually was a very nice guy and nothing like his persona on the internet. He actually seemed almost kind of shy when I met him. So he was a very nice guy. He was there signing autographs for people for free. Like I said, just a really cool, friendly guy, and he almost seemed kind of shy.
Hey, Murph.
Yes, sir.
You're like 6'8" and wearing a leather outfit. Anybody would be a little shy around you.
A good point.
Well, maybe Rob Halford would ask you for your number, right?
Okay,
yeah, fair point.
No, on the first day I was dressed up in my classic Road Warrior costume, and then the second day I was there as Boba Fett. So had a lot of fun. There was a lot of good cosplayers there. I really enjoyed it. Spent a little more money than what I probably should have done, but it was fun. So
it's better to ask forgiveness than permission.
Did you buy some good shit?
Yeah, I did actually. One, I mean, I could talk about it now or later, but do you guys remember a cartoon show called Inhumanoids?
I don't remember this one.
No.
I do.
Okay, it was an awesome show at the time. It was actually part of a cartoon block that had Bigfoot Jason the Wheeled Warriors, and also Gem. Gem being the most popular one from that lasted 65 episodes.
I love Gem.
Almost 5 seasons.
Gem and holograms, right?
Inhuman
Synergy, help me.
Gem.
The movie's coming out later this year. Or
Yeah,
early
fuck
next
that
year?
movie.
Yeah.
Fuck it,
But no,
man.
they were part of that cartoon block, and Inhumanoids only lasted 1 season. Chris Latta, who did the voice of Cobra Commander and Starscream, he did one of the characters in that called Decompose. He did the voice of. Well, they had a toy line to that I've always wanted to start collecting. Never got into it, and there was a guy there that had almost a complete set at a price that I just couldn't be turned down. It was insane. So I ended up buying that, and then the other thing I picked up that I liked was the G.I. Joe Whale from the A Real American Hero line. It was the G.I. Joe hovercraft, kind of a large item, whatever. That one was pretty cool as well.
I remember that because
I had a lot of fun.
The cartoon would show to where the kids would be playing with it. It is like floating around in the bathtub. It's actually on the water, and then like to take it to the land.
Yeah.
I thought it was so cool.
Maybe you can do a Murph's Vault just on the scores you got from that convention.
Oh yeah. I'm totally planning on it.
Awesome.
I don't know if you guys can see it here, but here was the whale hovercraft.
Just a sec.
And I've been wanting that for years and have never really found one with all the parts complete. So
There it is.
Oh, wow.
Badass.
Nice.
That's massive.
I think that's pretty awesome.
Really good shape, too.
And you know what? The prices there that dealers were selling toys for was like half the price of what you would find on eBay or other places like that. I mean, it was just insane, the deals that were going on there. So
you say you spent a little bit more than you wanted to, but I mean, taking a look at what you did spend and what you got, the value over what you actually spent, looks like you made out like a bandit.
Yeah.
I did actually. So, matter of fact, there was a guy that was there, the same guy I bought the whale from. Have you guys ever heard of the USS Flag play set from G.I. Joe?
Isn't that the big one?
Yes, it's actually the largest play set ever made
Is that the one with the
for an
mountain and
action
everything?
figure toy line. It's the aircraft carrier from G.I. Joe. It's actually like almost 7 feet long. The thing's freaking huge.
Holy cow.
It's bigger than your dining room table. He actually had one of those there. Entirely complete with all the parts, which is almost unheard of. Man, it was just a little more than what I'd want to spend. And where the hell would I put it? You know,
Right.
Yeah.
Hanging from the ceiling.
But
That would be bigger than this
exactly.
table.
Yeah.
yeah,
they-
this table's only 6 feet.
They say finding a USS flag like that in a good shape like that is one of the grails for G.I. Joe collecting. That USS
Wow.
flag is badass.
That's pretty crazy. Awesome. So,
It is.
speaking of retro, you've been playing a retro game.
I have. Hi, folks. This is your boy, The Hoove. When we went to the video game convention, I gave myself, like, along lines what Mark's talking about, spending limit. And I took some games, and you guys were there. And
Terry made out like a bandit, too. Hoove, I'm sorry.
I had a list of games I wanted. Friday the 13th, Kung Fu, Excite Bike, A Nightmare on Elm Street, which was... It eluded me again. Couldn't get my hands on Elm Street. But instead of Elm Street, I had to find something, that I want to play with Jordan as well, that ties into a movie license. And I know a lot of people hate this game, but I've recently rediscovered it, and I've had a lot of fun with it. Jaws by LJ and dun dun dun.
Licensed junk games.
Yeah, I know. That's what it says, but that game is really fun. I've had a lot of fun playing that lately. It's a little bit of RPG elements into it, as far as just, it's kind of just an actioneer, kind of almost like a platformer. But I think what really pisses people off about that game is when you lose a life, you lose a lot that goes with it. So the point is you go from one port to another port, okay? And as you go, you run into something, not unlike Final Fantasy or Dragon War or something like that. You go into the battle mode. There's 3 items that you're looking for. The main thing that you want, the currency in the game, are the conch shells. You have to have a certain number of those before you get to the other point to level your boat up and get weapons. You earn the tracker to where it tells you where Jaws is at, how close he is to you, and you can level up the strength of your boat, level up the strength of your character, level up the speed of your character. Problem is when you die,
Right?
it takes half your conch shells, drops you down a level, and you lose a tracker every time.
Oh.
That's losing 1 life. So I can see where the frustration happens playing the game, because you're gonna die. You're gonna die because it gets pretty crazy. Like when you're in the underwater mode as a diver, going after the stingrays, the jellyfish, and the other baby sharks, and God forbid you actually run into Jaws, because he will actually chase you down, wherever you go. He's not impossible to beat at that juncture of the game, but the enemies, as the further you get along, the more rapid they're coming at you, and it's hard to move. It's hard to get out of the way. But just revisiting the game, and just from my memories as a kid playing it, and I didn't really care for it as much. But as an adult, I just kind of like, hey, this wasn't too bad. This is kind of fun. A little bit of strategy goes to it. But when you die, wow, it's very, very frustrating. Like it's to the point of madness, because you're like, oh my god, because you lose.
That's that whole thing that's really popular right now, right? Is the super hella hard games or whatever,
hardcore mode or nothing.
Dark Souls, Bloodborne,
From Software,
Demon Souls, that kind of From Software's infamous titles. But that's sort of a big deal right now. So Ryan, you've been playing something retro too, haven't you?
Yeah, not as retro, but
20 years old. That's retro.
Yeah, I know. Jeez, but
you're old too.
One of my favorite RPGs from the PS1 era, Xenogears, Squaresoft RPG.
One of my favorites.
Man, is underrated, I think, still, today, and I still have my physical copy, and it's an excellent game. It's really long. It's kind of long-winded, too, but it's got a great story, and I think really great characters. There's some really well-drawn anime cutscenes in there, too, and the combat system is great. You've got the combo system with on-foot martial arts, and then later on you have the gears in the game, the giant mechs that you pilot. And, I mean, if you don't like fighting giant robots,
what's wrong with you?
I really don't know what to tell you, but I would love to see a remake, since everything's being remade nowadays, and Final Fantasy VII's been given the go-ahead,
Which I'm not against.
A little bit.
I'm not against Xenogears making a comeback. I think it is an underrated seminal RPG. I think the combat system was super innovative. I think it's probably one of the best combat systems because of the combos and all that other stuff.
Wild Arms had a really good combat system.
I like Wild Arms.
The energy system that was the fuel system that was related to your actual mech and things like that. I don't see that game getting remade the way that it is.
Well, yeah, and it's a shame because I would bring as a counterpoint Shenmue, but I think that game, a few years after its release, was more popular than Xenogears was.
So I think it's not a popularity thing. I don't think anybody who likes JRPGs knows Xenogears. They love Xenogears. It's a great game.
But I think more people know Shenmue.
No, agreed.
I mean, not that Shenmue was cool and everything, but I'm not really, that stoked about the remake. I could take it or leave it.
But where I'm trying to go with this is
continuation.
Where I'm trying to go with this is that Xenogears isn't going to get a remaster or a remake because of the subject matter.
Yeah, and it almost didn't get released stateside in the 90s because of its subject matter, which is very theological.
It's very religious,
dogmatic,
and Catholic dogma for sure.
But it's great though. It's a great story, and I can see a lot of people the level of butthurt and hair trigger, just defensiveness today. I can see exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think with the little desert people that are obviously Muslims, and then the white gods calling everybody lambs, and
the people that live in Solaris.
Yeah, I just don't see. I think those themes are a little too heavy for.
Fuck, that sounds like my work.
I think those themes are a little too heavy.
You're a heavy-duty janitor there, buddy.
Which is unfortunate, because it's still phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a great game.
But that being said, I'm still super stoked for Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah. And then I think John is playing an RPG.
Yes, I am the king of Android apps, I guess. I don't have a whole lot of time to play, maybe an hour before work.
You play a lot more Android games than anybody I know. That's
lunch.
Yeah, I've seen you at work.
It's nice to be able to play for a couple minutes while taking a smoke break or whatever the case may be. But I guess call me a sucker for anything Android that has heroes in the title, because I found a new game. It's called Heroes Tactics. It's, as you guys know, I've been playing a lot of Heroes Charge. This,
I would swear was made by the same company, but it's not. So it's an homage, maybe an homage.
Yeah, in the mobile game market, let's just say copy.
Okay, it's a copy of Heroes Charge, but done in a turn-based strategy tactics style with the hexagon grid and everything.
Well, that's right up your alley.
Yeah, I mean it's nice. It's hero collecting, hero upgrading. Having to get the items to upgrade your character, upgrade their skills and everything. There's evolving and promoting, and there's so many different ways to make your heroes stronger. You get a 5-person team just like the other one to go in. They're similar characters, if not exact same. But like I said, it's like Final Fantasy Tactics, Brigadine, Ogre Battle. It's tactics based, but it also has an autoplay feature, even if you haven't gotten 3 stars on the stage. So the casual gamer that's not into the I don't know who to attack, just hit auto and let it play. It's a blast. It still hasn't stolen me away from Heroes Charge. I still play that absolutely every day, multiple times a day. But yeah, it's definitely worth a check especially if you like the Blood Brothers, Heroes Charge types of games and crave for some turn-based strategy. It's good.
Yeah. In terms of what I've been playing, John and I this week have been working on
oh my god,
bringing you this table. We wanted something kind of more presentable, also something that didn't absorb every other sound in the room.
Yeah.
We were tired of the plastic card table, so this works considerably better for us.
And it has our brand on it.
Yeah.
Aesthetically, it's beautiful.
I helped paint.
So that's taken up a lot of my time. In the time that we weren't working on that table this last week, I played a little bit of Metal Gear Solid 5. I'm not going to get too far into it. It's a very interesting and deeper than expected game with a lot of the same ridiculousness that you expect from Hideo Kojima.
You can attach balloons to like everything.
You can attach to balloons. It's called Fultoning. You can attach balloons to anything and send it back to your base, and suddenly it works for you. So that includes people that you knock out. That includes tanks, jeeps full of people.
Wild animals.
My question, has the U.S. Marines attempted to attach balloons to terrorists or anything? Because, I mean, if they join us afterwards, that'd be kind of nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, man, wait a minute. How old is this game?
Metal Gear
brand
Solid
new.
5?
2
Brand
weeks.
Yeah, it's like 3 weeks old maybe.
So you can attach one balloon to a fucking tank?
And it goes back to your base.
And it becomes your tank.
And anybody that was piloting the tank becomes your people.
Okay.
Yeah, all I have to say is Hideo Kojima.
Okay, so another very Hideo Kojima thing is
Gotta love Japan.
Yeah, man.
so you find tapes in the world that have various types of recordings on them, and sometimes, a lot of the times, it's mission stuff or world stuff or like story
stuff.
background stuff. Sometimes you'll find a tape that's got poop noises on it.
Oh, nice.
Sounds like somebody like bearing down inside of a porta potty.
Okay, now that is a serious thing, I'm sure. It's a shout out to Johnny Sasaki, who's a recurring character in the Metal Gear games, who always has intestinal distress.
Maybe it's an indirect shout out.
Yeah.
But that tape has a use too.
Oh.
So you can
right.
upgrade. You can upgrade your Walkman because it's in the 80s.
Yeah.
You can walk around with a Walkman. You can upgrade it to have an external speaker. And if you go and hide in a porta potty when people are alerted and you play that tape with the speaker, they're less likely to check the porta potty for your hiding ass.
Who else but Kojima would have that functionality?
That is brilliant.
I
Am I
love
the
that.
only person here? All you guys, am I the only? We're talking about a game, Metal Gear Solid. I'm sure not even, most even non-gamers probably remember because they had it back on the NES.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we're talking about a game full of espionage and sneaking around and all that, and we're talking about that it includes balloons and pooping.
Yeah.
Pooping noises and fart jokes.
It's pretty different.
I have a headache.
Yeah. And
My mind can't wrap around
and
this
it's
right
been
now.
even
brother.
weirder in the past, Metal Gear Solid 2.
So, other than that, I want to mention that my wife and I binge watched Longmire Season 4 last week on Netflix because Netflix bought the rights to it, and Katie Sackhoff is as brilliant as ever. Super She's as damaged as she's ever been in the show. You really don't know where it's going to go until the third or fourth episode. Something that happened at the end of season 3 resolves very quickly this season, and doesn't seem to have any real lingering effect. Yeah, it's awesome. If you haven't watched Longmire,
in case you haven't kept up from the beginning, Kitty Sackhoff's a bit of a looker, and Josh got to meet her face to face at Comic-Con.
Yep.
And he squealed like a little girl. Just saying.
I still squeal when I think about it. So
wait till you see Riddick.
But to be fair, it wasn't just she's hot, I have to meet her. He actually respects her as a person.
I respect her work.
So.
Yeah, she's super cool, and I was honored to meet her. And Longmire season 4 on Netflix. You got to watch it.
Yeah,
it's so
plus
good.
a woman that enjoys
You kind of wonder
cigars.
how come you don't see more of her. It almost seems like she's kind of.
I'd like to see more of her.
Genre for her.
You know, I heard her over talking with somebody at Phoenix Comic Con, and she was sort of talking about her body type being a little broader built. I mean, she's an extremely attractive woman, but she's a little broader in the shoulders than most women. She's not fragile looking.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. But she's talked about that as maybe part of the reason why she loses roles to some of these like skinny bitches.
Danger. Has anybody
Shots
seen
fired.
Oculus?
No, I want to though.
I believe she's in Oculus, if I remember correctly, and she's in the flashback scenes, and she plays the mother. Only reason why I bring up Oculus is a pretty damn good horror movie, produced by WWE Studios. No, it does not feature a WWE superstar in it.
Wow, that's rare.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool, funky horror movie, dude.
I love Kane's horror movies.
Oh yeah, she is an Oculus. Yeah,
Yeah, she's an Oculus.
Yeah.
See no evil, see no evil.
Yeah,
They
great
are
movie.
what they are, or whatever. You know what I mean? But
I liked them.
Oculus, really good for anybody out there that's looking for something neat to watch in a horror genre. Oculus was pretty good. Kind of a good mind flip, and she's in it. She plays the role of a mother, which I enjoyed that because it kind of takes her out of what I'm used to seeing her in, as the badass or the something in science fiction. It's horror, but it's in a particular role to where she's the mother, and you can see the progression of her character develop throughout the movie, which is pretty cool.
Speaking of like her body type and everything, I think she would have probably done a really good Sarah Connor in the new Terminator.
Oh yeah, I didn't even
That
think
would have
about
been
that.
nice.
That would have been pretty goddamn brilliant, actually.
Yeah. You missed out.
Yeah, that seems like a missed opportunity.
You would
right
take
there.
her as Sarah Connor, or would you take her? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
Yeah.
Especially since they tried to make Sarah Connor more of a badass in the newest Terminator.
Right.
I think that would have fit
Instead,
perfectly.
How old
they had
would she
tiny
have been
little
when
Amelia Clark.
Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines came out, because I think she would have done a way better job than Christiana Loken as the female Terminator.
She would have done better than Daenerys Targaryen. What the hell is her name?
Emilia
Amelia Clark.
Amelia Clark.
Amelia Clark.
Nothing against her. She's
She's
nice
fine.
too, and
Don't
she
talk about the mother of
she
dragons.
might eventually, I don't know, maybe grace us with her presence. Who knows? You never know.
Yeah, we were actually going to talk about Amelia Clark later.
Yeah.
She refuses to do nude scenes anymore.
Yeah, I heard
Seems
about
kind
that.
of moot
I
at
have
this
season
point,
one.
but
I have
okay.
season 1 on Blu-ray, so I'm good.
There's always the internets.
It seems,
Call Drogo. You the man.
it seems sort of weird to make that stand now.
Now, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a moot point now, but I think that she's just like, I don't want that to be my
Murph?
main thing.
It was also taken out of context too. She put a post on Twitter that I forget the site, but that reporter, they're known for trying to get statements from stars and then quoting them out of context.
Uh-huh.
And it's not that she's against nude scenes; she's against gratuitous nude scenes, where
Those
if
are
there's
the
a
best
nude scene that's
kind.
part of the story. Yeah, I know. I ain't against them. I'm just saying, but if it forwards the story, she's okay with full nude scenes. But if it doesn't, then she has a problem, and she'll work with the director.
So do you think she would have been fine with the Drago railing her scene? Would that progress the story?
Actually, I think it does, because if you look at this,
I think so.
right,
Definitely.
because this is in the books, Daenerys is 15 years old, so they had to get someone that looks older than that. They don't ever say how old Daenerys is, but that particular scene, taken in context for what it means to the character, Khal Drogo's just like, she's not there. This is, you're my object.
Yeah, that's how their tribe thinks.
Right, but to her, she's, this is painful and hurtful, and how did I get here, But the only solace she takes going through that is seeing what maybe the possibility of the future can hold when she sees a dragon eggs that she's given. There's something to her. It's like going through a very painful, visceral experience for a woman, and to find anything to take solace in. She sees the eggs like, okay, I'm here for something. Something else is going on.
I think you and I have very different views on her and Khal Drogo's relationship, but...
Well, I mean, I'm talking initially, when she's new to it. You know what I mean? New to that tribe, and she's been basically traded off like a piece of meat by her brother. Like, this is the army, so I can get my kingdom. What's he say?
Yeah, but she wasn't like raped before she loved him.
She's married.
Yeah, their first scene, she didn't love him.
She's not being raped, but is this something she would willingly do if she could pick to do anything else?
I think her affection for him came later, after she started to change him a little bit. That's my take on it. She when that first scene happened, I think she despised him.
Like
what about Murph? Murph, you're an expert in this lore. What's your take on that?
I think that opening part of Game of Thrones, from when her brother sells her off in exchange for the army, you really saw Daenerys. That was her beginning to grow. She went from being the victim, and she learned empowered by being part of the Dothraki to actually take charge of her life. And that was a physical way of how she was the victim, till eventually she's the one on top in the tent with Khal Drogo.
Right.
And I think that was part of that whole character's development later on. So in the beginning, you feel sorry for her, and you really feel sorry for her. Then you start rooting for this character. You start cheering her on. And of course, now in the story, depends on where you're at. I'm kind of thinking she's an idiot now, but back then I felt sorry for her. I was really rooting her on, and it was nice to see this victim become a strong woman.
I'm glad you brought that up, because most people would look at the show and that don't see any symbolism in it. Seeing Daenerys initially being taken by Khal Drogo, and then later where she takes him, basically. That's a big deal to his tribe, because they ride women like they ride the horses, kind of.
Right.
Your property. Now she has taken the leader of the tribe. Now she, and I don't want to be vulgar or anything, but she's on top or whatever. Symbolically, that's huge.
Yeah.
Because he goes from looking at her as, she's just, this property I have, to, you are my moon, you are my queen.
Yeah, she completely turned being a victim into empowerment.
Yeah, it's been years since I read the first book, and then, of course, it's also been years now since I saw the first season. I guess I remember.
Now, the book might be completely different. I haven't read the book. I'm just going strictly
I've read
by
the first book. Pretty much.
It's
the
pretty
first
similar.
Season goes with the first book.
Yeah, that's pretty similar.
Can I bring up something real quick? This isn't much of a spoiler if you read the book or not. Rumor is September 28th and 29th, they're going to start filming the Tower of Joy scene from the first book. If you remember when Ned Stark was wounded by Jaime in the book in King's Landing, he had a flashback dream, which was the Tower of Joy, where he went to rescue his sister, and he fought against the 3 Kingsguards, the last 3 surviving Jaime. They're actually filming that scene and going to show it in a flashback next season.
Very cool.
Sean Bean's back as Ned Stark for a little bit?
That's something that's being avoided. It seems like there's a void when that question is asked. Because he also got the Weirwood tree stuff as well, with Bran. So it seems like
Bran.
That was being avoided.
I totally enjoyed this season because Bran wasn't in it.
Yeah.
So we're all also looking forward to the Star Wars movie that's coming out, and we all recently experienced Force Friday. I have my little BB-8 over there on the end of the table, which is still a hard item to pick up. I think you can buy it from Spiro's website directly, but even if you go to Amazon, it says 2 to 3 month wait, which, hey, Christmas is 2 to 3 months away. I've got a second one. Anybody want to buy it? Yep.
Email us.
$300. So I went and bought 2 of them, but you've had some difficulty buying some Star Wars toys.
Yeah, the Force wasn't with me that Friday. Actually, you know what? It's my fault. Honestly, I didn't think, of course it was a big merchandising push put on by Disney, and the toy companies that are representing the movie that's coming out and everything.
You're telling me Disney was trying to make money off of people?
Of course we were, John. But I'm sitting there thinking, okay, they're doing all this big push. I was watching the live feed on StarWars.com, the unboxings and everything that they were doing of the new merchandise that was coming out.
We did an unboxing too. Check it out.
On YouTube. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, well, I'm sure people up in Phoenix, Tempe, down in Tucson and all that, they're going to go crazy. They're going to hit up their local Walmarts, wherever the heck, Toys R Us. It'd be pretty safe to say down here in Pinal County, where people, don't necessarily want to buy a whole lot of Star Wars stuff, other than other people.
They're out there.
People in this room that I would think of, us, and a couple other friends.
I've found doing this, not to cut you off, but doing this, there's quite a few more of us than I would have expected.
Yeah,
true. It's awesome getting the support from you guys.
But I thought, just to preface this a little bit, I want to get the,
Kylo Ren.
Blister pack.
Right,
Blister pack.
Kylo Ren. Okay, for those of you guys out there that are wondering why I'm all wanting the Star Wars thing to happen, kind of goes back to what Tim and Donna were talking about. The boys were born, and that's why they decided to get into Hot Wheels. I was born in 1977.
About 50 years ago.
Long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. But I was born when the first one came out. Benjamin was born this year, 2015, when the newest one's going to come out. So
right.
I was kind of figure that'd be something.
That's a connection thing.
Nice
That's definite something.
Right. So I'm thinking to myself, just daydreaming, man, if my dad, back in 1977 when it came out, who would have known it would have become what it is now?
It was an indie film.
Right. Exactly. But, now that I know, and I kind of think, man, if my dad would have bought some of that stuff and just put it away in a box for me.
Man.
Son, okay, you're 18 years old. Look what I got when you were born. What some of that stuff could be worth, what it would mean to me.
Right.
It's not my dad's fault. He didn't know, you know what I'm saying? But I know. So I'm like, yeah, man, it was so cool if I could have, been 18 and I opened up an original blister pack of Darth Vader right there. So the first thing comes to my mind, dude, you got to get Kylo Ren for Benjamin. It's going to be iconic. It's just like Darth Vader.
And I would hope at 18 you realize that this isn't a toy. This needs to stay in the package and hang on my wall or be in my curio or something.
My dad got me this.
Yeah, definitely.
My dad, when I was born, the year I was born, this came out, my dad got this the year I was born. And so right now I'm on the hunt for Kylo Ren. So I'm thinking, okay, well...
You'll find it.
Eventually I will. I'm thinking, okay, well, Coolidge Walmart should have some stuff. Santan Valley Walmart should have some stuff. There's another Walmart up that way or what have you. I'm thinking, I'll get my hands on it. No. We went to Walmart, the Santan Valley Walmart, that Sunday, the Force Friday weekend. And they had a very good size section for Force Awakens and Star Wars stuff. Action figures were gone.
I think Tatiana beat you.
The new Hot Wheels,
Marcos.
like the Force Awakens Hot Wheels were gone. Everything was gone.
Wow.
I mean, bare ass shelves. Like the Build-A-Saber stuff was still there.
Yay, consumerism.
They had maybe two of the Yodas.
That's
there.
been a complaint I've heard.
The $200
is just
Yodas.
lack of product all over the United States with that. There's been a lot of complaints about that from all the states all over.
I actually like that. I would rather them not have enough to supply the demand and keep the value of the item than to oversaturate the market and make every single one of them worthless.
True.
But then again,
as a collector,
I just want Kylo fucking Ren, dude. And I went to Coolidge Walmart. They have it's like they don't even know Star Wars exists. There's like a half of a quarter of a fucking shelf dedicated to Star Wars.
Yeah, well, they barely speak English, and
you'll get a Star Wars, dude. You know nothing against our people like that, shit. But it's like, you think that maybe they didn't anticipate, because I know there's been times where the Madden have done releases and all that for Midnight for Madden, and Coolidge hasn't really.
Screw GameStop.
It is what
Screw
it is.
them
Not bagging on
in the
Coolidge
butt.
or whatever. It is what it is. But yeah, man, they're all gone. Like Coolidge actually did have 3 Kylo Rens, but do the people that work there? Do you understand? You have to take care of these packs, or people don't want to buy this because the boxes were all big. I had 3 of them right there in my hand, but it was not good enough for Benjamin.
You wanted a pristine one.
Yeah, I'm sure most of, not just Walmart employees, not to diss Walmart employees, but I think just the general population thinks this is a toy. Who cares? They're going to open it up and they're going to play with it and throw it in their closet. But that's so not the case with so many of them that are sold.
Yeah, so then we went up to Toys R Us this past Monday. Well, Cassandra and I, we got to share a day off and went up, got something to eat, and just happened to be in the area of Toys R Us up there in Superstition Springs. And, they got the big posters out there. Star Wars is here. Star Wars is here. And they had a lot of Star Wars stuff. Again, the action figures cleared out. Gone.
Wow.
Even for Toys R Us, gone.
Damn.
So, no Kylo Ren, not yet. But hopefully in 2 weeks, when we do this podcast again, I'll be holding something up for y'all.
So, speaking of, what were you saying?
I was just going to say, talking about the oversaturation versus not enough. Even from like 89 to 90, because I used to be big on especially football card collecting. Just 89 to 90. I have Troy Aikman rookie that my friend's mom gave me for my birthday. That was the coolest gift. But just that 1 year, the market increased. Everybody decided, you know what? We're going to start making a football card. And we're going to have 1,000 inserts and 2,000 rookie cards per guy.
The same thing happened to comic books back then. Because, all of a sudden, comic books became like a viable investment. So the companies, it was like, okay, you had Marvel, you had DC, Image was coming up, Wildstorm Comics was coming up. And all of a sudden, they would do like the Death of Superman was big. It hit, mainstream media, and people were going out and buying this polybagged copy of Death of Superman where he actually dies in a fight with Doomsday. Mm-hmm. And in it, if you didn't open it, it was the actual issue that he died in, and also like a black band that had the red Superman logo on it in memory of Superman or whatever. And people went out and bought that in droves. And next thing you know, Marvel and DC like, oh, okay, we're going to do like, the X-Men in a chromium cover. But there's like 50,000 chromium covers. They kind of, imploded the market on their own because they saturated with so many items, and it just imploded on.
Yep. So speaking of a company that doesn't saturate the market with items, you have Nintendo on the gaming scene, right? So Nintendo has been, sort of struggling with the Wii U. Their amiibos have become super popular, but, they are a central part of our childhoods.
Oh, yeah.
And Miyamoto recently did a interview with Kotaku.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks again, Kotaku.
Well, no, I think they hosted it. I don't know if it was one of the Kotaku, people.
Right, but so Miyamoto recently was in an interview where he talked to somebody asked him whether or not Super Mario Brothers 3 was actually a play, because if anybody remembers Super Mario Brothers 3, the way that it started is a curtain lifted, mm-hmm. and then you've got all the boxes in the back that are like riveted into the background, right? So you've got all of these like little clues that it was a play, and it was always considered just sort of a fan theory. But Miyamoto got on and confirmed it the other day, which is one of those things that is inherent to our culture, and we sort of talked about it on Jackie's podcast, was that dorks love detail.
Right. Yeah. And this particular one doesn't matter to me in the least. And Super Mario Brothers 3 is always going to be in my top games of all time. And playing it as a kid, I mean, I even picked up on the play presentation and everything, and some people are kind of disappointed that now it's not part of the Super Mario Brothers continuity, and that this part of my brain when I hear that goes continuity.
Why would they say that the second one was a dream?
Right, and that was just a reskinned game. But
yeah, it was a reskin of Doki Doki Panic.
But, the thirst for this contiguous backstory and everything, and then it reminds me several years ago when Nintendo published a book, about the Zelda chronology and everything and how it all tied together, and it was ludicrous. You could tell it was just far-reaching, that no thought was put into a contiguous timeline or anything when the games were being made, and just hacking one together 20 years after the fact is, who cares? It's pointless.
It's funny that they say that, because if the cards would have been dealt correctly, Popeye would be our Mario.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost the licensing deal on that, and
So
Mario
they reskinned
became
it and
the
became
superstar.
Jumpman or
Well,
Mario.
that's not entirely true either, because Mario versus Luigi was like the first Mario Brothers game, right? So
Just called Mario Brothers.
it was just called Mario
yeah,
Brothers,
right.
yeah. But I mean they made Mario.
Donkey
in
Kong
that.
was before Mario.
Yeah, but I don't think that Popeye would have been in Mario versus Luigi.
I don't know that they would have made Mario if Mario wasn't hitting Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Mario wasn't in Donkey Kong.
He was Jumpman.
He was
Mario was in Donkey Kong, dude.
Without Mario, Donkey Kong would just be a donkey or throwing barrels. There had to be a guy, a hero, and Mario filled that hero spot.
But he
Josh,
wasn't
if you go to
Mario.
every man on the street, and you say, "Okay, you remember Donkey Kong?"
I agree with you.
They remember the guy.
We
that they
know
played.
that he's Mario, but he wasn't Mario.
But still, he is as iconic as a character because of Donkey Kong.
I think he's iconic because of Mario Brothers for the Nintendo.
I disagree.
Sorry.
I gotta go
I
with
disagree.
No,
Yeah,
Mario
Donkey Kong-
did not become a name until Mario Brothers
Mario
on the Nintendo.
wouldn't have been made without Donkey Kong.
That's untrue.
How do you say that?
Because Miyamoto created Super Mario Brothers based on looking at a drain pipe while he was walking down the sidewalk.
But he wouldn't have used Mario if he didn't have success
He created-
reskinning it.
He created Mario.
Yes, but he wouldn't have
As a
necessarily
plumber.
used it.
I'm not saying that we all don't look back and see Mario and Donkey Kong, but what I'm saying is Mario was a character he created who may have gotten his color palette from Donkey Kong, but Mario would not be an iconic character today without Miyamoto and Super Mario Brothers.
But who's to say if he didn't have success with Donkey Kong that he wouldn't
Donkey
have gone
Kong's
with
not Miyamoto's game.
But if Nintendo didn't have success with Donkey Kong, that he wouldn't have designed a different character. You can't. I mean, they had success with that, and he ran with it.
But see, Mario wasn't a plumber in Donkey Kong.
It doesn't matter. It was still the character.
But the whole basis for the Mario Brothers was a plumber in a pipe in a special world.
Is
It doesn't
that
matter.
Mario? Is that Mario in Donkey Kong? Is that yes or no? Is
No,
that
it's
Mario?
Jumpman.
No, it's Mario.
Okay, does that
But-
dude?
No,
not look
it is
exactly
Jumpman.
Like, does that dude not look exactly like Mario?
Yes, he does. But
And-
how can you call him Mario when he came 5
It looks
years
like
before
fucking
Mario?
bro. It looks just like Mario.
But because this guy was the Hoove before we started calling him the Hoove.
What does that have
But-
to do with anything?
No, I get
Because
I
it
get
doesn't matter
you're
what
saying,
you
but
call him, he was that character.
To me, that's what I'm saying. To me, it's like, okay, Mario came later, but the first time, okay, I guess I can simplify it for me, as, you know, just a casual gamer. The first time I ever saw Mario was in Donkey Kong. That's all I know.
And
That's
we're-
how I'm saying.
And we're not
But you
arguing-
know that he's Mario after the fact.
Right.
But that doesn't matter.
He didn't have a name in Donkey Kong.
It doesn't, yeah. He decided, okay, I saw a pipe, I'm going to make a plumber game. I'm going to run with this character that had success in Donkey Kong. If it didn't have success in Donkey Kong, he might have said, okay, I'm going to design this completely new character that's going to be a
now
plumber.
I know what you're talking about. God damn it! I get it now. I see what you're trying to say.
He drew
He
on the
had
success
this
of
character
Donkey
who
Kong.
was like, well, this guy was cool with his little red hat
I'm
and
going to make
everything.
him the star in my game.
Yeah, this is going to be the plumber guy that I'm going to use. I get your point now. That was a good way of explaining it. I get you.
He shared a color palette.
If
He could have looked. He could
Anywhere.
have been, you
anything,
know,
but he ran
Brazilian.
with the success of the character from Donkey Kong that we know as
Now I
Jumpman.
see what
Or
you're
do we
talking
even
about.
think
Fair
that
enough, sir.
Maybe Nintendo say, "Hey, look, you're making this game." Maybe he did have a totally, completely different idea of what his hero was going to look like, what have you. But maybe Nintendo said, "Well, hey, we're going to
Hey,
go
we,
with
we've got
this
this
right
flagship
here."
guy that we used as a skin in replace of Popeye for our Donkey Kong game.
Maybe it could have been a corporate decision. I don't know.
So this goes into the whole thing about how much geeks like
really does. Detail.
Look what we did.
We love ancillary information.
Yes, and that's why we're aimless.
Because information is vague, right? We consider and have a discussion or argument about it.
And we can have an argument or a difference of opinion without unfriending each other on Facebook.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying.
Oh god.
And it's stupid. We're talking about Mario Brothers.
Exactly.
He's an 8-bit fucking character who doesn't exist.
Right.
So, you know,
Yeah.
it's a silly discussion. You know,
But, I mean, it's fun for us.
Yeah, but
yeah,
that's
it is
what
absolutely fun.
and
Fun
we've
for
been
other people to
we
do.
as gamers and nerds have been doing shit like this our entire lives.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
But the
Arguing
difference is
about
we learned how to
opinions
do
and
it
theories.
face to face, whereas all these other assholes that are on the internet.
And just like John was saying, the thing on Facebook is if your opinion differs from mine on this, just go ahead and unfriend me now. You can go straight to hell with that crap. That's the most asinine, immature bullshit I've ever
We are some
heard.
close friends here.
Yeah.
And we have disagreed on so many things.
Yeah.
I mean, Terry and I almost went to blows once, but we're still
You guys
freaking-
probly would have still been friends after fighting.
Yeah.
Well, it'd have been like a WWE fight. Though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, John, you're going over tonight.
Yeah.
Elbow drop, son.
But yeah,
But the thing is, people get passionate about certain things.
Yeah.
For sure.
There's nothing-
We're all passionate. That's why we're here.
Let me tell you
Yes.
something. There's nothing different that we did right now. There might be somebody out there saying, "Oh man, they talk about all this video game stuff, this and that." Tomorrow, on Football Sunday, what's going to happen? Someone's going to be wearing a Dallas Cowboys jersey. Someone's going to be wearing a Washington Redskins jersey. And be watching. They're not even
You talking about me and Stevie? You talking about me and
Could
Stevie?
be, could
I'm
be,
just
but
saying.
They have two different teams that play two different opponents tomorrow. One guy, oh man, see, that's why our defense is going to do this. This is why we're taking the division. Oh no, man, we're taking the division because it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Speaking of football watching, do you remember the Jimmy Kimmel thing from like 2 weeks ago? Where he was making fun of people who watched other people play video games?
on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Oh, yeah. I saw the greatest comic strip about that the other day.
That
Yes.
was perfect.
that
Nailed
my
it on
friend
the
Nate
head.
posted. Oh, that was such a great comic strip. The guy walks up to his friend who's watching people play games on YouTube, and he's
I
like,
assumed it was his son.
or something. And he goes,
Yeah.
"You're watching people play games, but
On
don't you have that
YouTube or
game? I
whatever.
mean, you can play that. Why are you watching it on YouTube?" And he's like, "Well, it's fun, and I like to see what's going on in the game." His dad's like, "That's the dumbest thing ever," and then goes in and sits down and watches football.
Yeah.
That is.
With the same look of entertainment.
Exactly.
You know.
I never put that kind
That
of
is
perspective
a
on it, but
great way to express it.
I don't know if I'm going to make fun of somebody for watching games anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, it was such a perfect analogy.
What tripped me out, talking about going to Walmart and everything, how big the YouTube watching of games are. Like, I know Jordan, he watches the whole Minecraft thing all the time. I didn't know, man, that some of these gamers are becoming so popular where their avatars are being made into toys. They're
Yeah,
being
sure.
sold on Walmart
Yeah.
shelves
You
right
can-
now. I was like,
you can
whoa,
have-
it's that big right now?
Yeah, they can 3D print, your...
But these, I mean, to get shelf space on Walmart shelves, for anything that you're selling is a big deal.
Yeah.
But here they are. Jordan's like, oh, yeah, I know that guy. I watch his videos. I'm like, there's their avatars, their toys.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, wow, I didn't know it was that big.
So real quick, let's go down our news items. We need to wrap up here pretty quick. We've got our D&D game to follow up with this, which
Always leaving you wanting more.
we're all looking forward to. This one's cut a little short because we had some amazing guests.
Yeah.
We
Thanks
thank the Witch
again,
Witch Doctor team. That was amazing. So just the Town Crier. A little bit of geek news for the end of this podcast.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Thank you.
So first and foremost, Disney is making a Mary Poppins sequel.
Oh.
Why?
Who the hell needs that?
Why?
The original is perfect.
It sits in my memory perfectly as it was.
We don't need another one.
I've never even
It's not
thought
like-
about wanting more.
Yeah, it's not like they can recreate
What's
it.
Mary Poppins doing now, though? I mean, how has shit gone for her?
They're like, oh shit, let's bring back that IP because we need to make some quick.
There you go.
Even the Disney movie a year or so ago, where they told the story of making that, was enough.
Yeah. Anybody seen the trailer for Jungle Book yet?
Yeah, it looks pretty dope.
Cool.
Yep, I think Jungle Book looks awesome. Destiny: The Taken King out this week. If that's your thing, I don't know.
I haven't played
not mine.
Destiny in
It's made
months.
some improvements. You actually level up by fighting people now, as opposed to improving your light level.
Never heard of
But yeah, whatever. Mario Maker also out.
Jordan can't wait. He's looking
Yeah,
forward to that.
I mean that's not my thing really, but
I
it
don't
still
get
looks
it.
like fun. To mess
You know
around
what?
with,
I would put that on and I would play other people's levels.
Sure.
I would never, ever, ever fucking
I
create a
might
level.
mess with it a little, but
I wouldn't.
I'm sure they took a little bit of a model from Little Big Planet. Little Big Planet had a lot of consumer-made content.
But they made it easier for people,
Yeah.
supposedly. So, I mean, it is what it is, right? So, it's not my thing. I could see sitting down and playing people's levels and finding the most popular levels and playing through them. Contributing to that community, not going to happen.
yeah,
for
but
me.
as a full price release, I can't see it for me. Yeah.
Christopher Nolan is back at the drawing board working on a new film from the anime seminal and completely overrated Akira.
Thank you for saying that.
I'm sorry, Akira is.
I agree, Josh.
Do you? I get that it's seminal and people love it. It doesn't make a whole lot of goddamn sense.
No. It was interesting when I watched it 15 or more years ago.
I'm gonna say,
God, more than that.
At least Voltron technically was anime.
Yeah.
But since then, I've checked out. I like JRPGs, but as far as cartoons and animated movies
I
go,
like a lot of anime.
Attack on Titan's about where I'm at, and that's about it.
My daughter loves that, but
it was
I don't get it.
Akira was cool when I watched it like 20 or so years ago.
Gasaraki is good. You know, there's been some current ones, but Akira looked nice.
Yep, super overrated.
Yeah.
I would rather see Neon Genesis Evangelion, personally, but
I never watched any of that.
That's a good anime.
I just don't see anime being big in America in 10 years or so. I think it's a fad that has lasted 10 years longer than it should have.
Pokemon is the apex of anime in America.
Oh, shut up.
No, it's not.
For real, it is. It is.
No.
What's the most popular brand of anime in America?
It helped.
No.
Pokemon. What's
I
still
don't know.
around? Pokemon.
I don't think it's the anime.
Speaking of
that's the most
Pokemon,
popular.
Nintendo elected a new president.
This.
For a 1-year term. Tatsumi Kamishima? 1-year term as president. He was president of Nintendo USA before Reggie.
Reggie Fils-Aimé.
Very businesslike, very serious looking guy.
Very serious looking.
They're still continuing Nintendo Directs, and he is...
Hopefully he takes the console serious.
Yeah, he's confirmed to be kind of following Iwata's path, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah, I hope so.
A human head transplant is going to happen in 2016.
Is that the one in Russia?
Not just
Germany,
not,
isn't it?
Greek? Isn't it Greece?
not just a brain or a face. It's the whole head.
They're
Yes.
yeah.
Entire head.
The guy with the head is a Russian.
Yes,
but I
okay,
think it's
that's right.
I think it's a Greek
And
doctor.
then the
He's got, like,
doctor
a rare
volunteered to
deformity,
do
like,
it.
Yeah, he's fucked up.
Yeah.
But his head is fine, but his body's all jacked.
Right.
And he could find, I think, one doctor who was willing, a surgeon who was willing to give it a shot. You know?
So that's a thing. I think it's weird. I
I'm
think it's
interested to see the outcome.
I think it's a little disgusting.
I've
but-
seen brain and face transplants, but I've never seen a whole head.
Yeah.
Speaking of disgusting, Minions is the second largest animated movie ever.
Thank you.
Really?
Of all time?
Of all time.
Yeah.
It beat Toy Story 3.
Yeah, and
Which is...
my parents
I
took
would put
my
Lion
daughter
King way
to see
above
it.
Minions.
God, it's horrible.
Yeah, I can't believe it made that much because my parents took my daughter to go see it a couple weeks ago, and they liked the Minions as characters, and they said it was garbage.
God, it was a garbage show.
I've got an explanation for that real quick.
Michael Bay and Transformers.
And every year it's going to progress.
They
But-
get worse and worse.
Okay, new horror movie or 50 Shades of Grey, you and your wife, or you by yourself, depending on what kind of person you are, go buy that ticket to watch that movie. But when the new animated movie comes out, you have to buy tickets for you, your wife, your 1 to 5 kids, and possibly their friends. So anytime tickets are bought for that movie, it's done 4 to 7 immediately, whereas an adult movie, it's usually 1 or 2.
So speaking of things that are overrated, the iPhone 6S and 6S Plus are out. Does anybody care?
Nope.
Nope.
Not even a little bit. No.
What was that, Murph?
Nope.
But Apple is leading in innovation again. They've invented the Wiimote with a touchpad on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they keep coming up with stuff that's already out and charging you way more for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's insane. Kurt Schilling settled his lawsuit with 38 Studios in Rhode Island. I think he's still got other lawsuits pending, but he owes the state of Rhode Island $12.5 million.
Yeah, they gave him good faith money to make his game.
Wow.
Yeah, speaking of people who are crazy, Elon Musk decided he knows how to terraform Mars.
Yeah, and
Let's nuke the fuck out of it.
good God, where's the logic there?
Give these
Is
people
it- Yes! Thank you for the goddamn Total Recall reference.
Would it come in a can? Spaceballs reference.
I think his thing is heating up the atmosphere. I think is his thing.
So a nuclear strike bomb reaction would be the catalyst that turns.
Yeah, let's forget that the fallout would last
nuclear
millions
fallout,
of years.
Funny because
Oh my God.
nuclear fallout usually causes a winter condition.
I don't know.
Its half-life, like Josh said, would be hundreds of thousands of years. So I don't know. I think it's bullshit. He's not serious.
Speaking of Mars, I'm the only one that would like to go see The Martian.
Yeah, that looks dope.
I'm with you,
That
buddy.
looks really good.
One of my favorite consoles turned 16.
Yeah, the Dreamcast.
It's old enough to drive on
That's
9/9/15.
crazy.
I'm telling you, the Dreamcast was eons ahead of its time.
It
Oh, yeah, it was.
definitely a forward-thinking console.
But it turned 16. Speaking of video games, Project Morpheus, now PlayStation VR.
Yeah, and that's disappointing to me. 'cause
No!
No.
It's brilliant.
PlayStation VR is so boring.
It's kind of a dumb
That's
name.
a brand name attached to
Yeah.
it.
No, think about it for a second, okay? You're just a regular Joe Blow consumer.
Yeah,
you're not a tech geek.
Yeah.
Somebody
Yeah.
says
They're gonna
Oculus
know.
Rift to you. Do you know what the fuck they're talking
No,
about?
they're not going to know.
But if it's a PlayStation
If so-
accessory,
If somebody says PlayStation VR, are you immediately going to picture what this thing does?
Fucking Sony
as a
VR.
regular consumer, probably not.
PlayStation VR.
Think
you're-
of all the tertiary attachments that they've been burned on over the last several years. They're just going to see
VR produces an image in your head. You
a
cannot.
bad one
And-
because of all the bad
But
VR.
you know
over the last
exactly what
several
they're
years.
going for
I
with
think
PlayStation
attaching the
VR.
letters VR to it is making it less appealing to. I mean,
okay,
to
not
to
not
general
an appealing
consumers.
thing, but to the average consumer, you say PlayStation and or VR. Compared to, you walk up to an average consumer that doesn't look at Kotaku or anything and
I'm
say,
the average
Oculus.
consumer. Go ahead.
Have you heard of Oculus?
The WWE horror movie?
No, but have you heard of PlayStation?
Oh, yeah.
What about VR?
Oh, I want to see that.
What
Project Morpheus.
what about Project Morpheus?
Joe
saw
Blow
the
consumer
Matrix
doesn't
movies.
know what Project Morpheus is.
I saw the
you know?
Matrix movies. They were pretty good.
Okay, well, what if a PlayStation had a VR thing?
PlayStation and virtual reality?
Yeah. it's
When can
crazy,
I buy
right?
that?
That is why it's brilliant.
I
Yeah,
think
and
it's
that's exactly how it's going to play out.
I'm Joe Blow on the show.
I think it's an understated name for PlayStation VR, but at the same time, it tells you exactly what the fuck it is.
Yes, I agree. It's a very lame name.
Okay, I'm wrong.
You're not wrong.
But-
You're not. Nobody's ever.
No,
wrong.
you're not the only one that has that opinion. I've heard that opinion a million times, but I kind of stepped back and thought about it. I'm like, it just tells people what it, because people don't know what the fuck Oculus Rift is.
If you're the head of that development team, okay, if you're in charge of getting that product out there and making money, your job's on the line. How are you selling this?
Yep.
Am I tagging it with one of the biggest names of video games and something that Joe Blow understands, VR?
Yep.
Or am I going to name it something like Project Morpheus? You know what I'm saying? And it's not
PlayStation
Project
Morpheus,
Cool
yeah.
fucking game. I should name my fantasy football team Project Morpheus. That's badass.
Yeah.
But
It's not
Joe
gonna-
Blow, mom and dad going to buy something in the store for the kid.
For sure.
My kid has
You
a
know what I'm
PlayStation, and I think VR stands for virtual reality.
That Project Morpheus that's not even for the PlayStation. Walking away from the product.
So
That's probably some computer thing.
So
Right.
for the last bit of news, it's also Sony related and also has to do with something we talk about on damn near every podcast.
Yeah, it does.
The Last of Us 2 was accidentally confirmed. Josh Schur on a live stream where they were talking about the Uncharted collection was asked about facial animation in the new Uncharted collection, and he talked about the first Last of Us.
And that, I mean, that alone is enough for the rest of the internet to say, okay, well,
It's confirmation it's coming.
It's
I
damn
don't.
close.
I don't think you can. You can't take anything else from it. I mean,
Yeah, I
The
can't
first
imagine a
Last of Us.
situation why else you would preface it with the first.
He's in
That's a good point.
He's in a culture now where they are calling it the first Last of Us.
Every word that you say. So, yeah, the preface wouldn't have been there unless, so his subconscious slipped a little bit.
Personally, not excited for it.
You were satisfied with the first one.
I love the first one.
yeah.
And I would hate to see a sequel come along.
That would be like the Breakfast Club too.
Yeah, that would ruin my impression of
What
that
if it's
game.
The Empire Strikes Back?
Well, if a sequel does come out, you don't have to play it. Simple as that.
I will play it. They'll get my money. They're going to get my money, but I am truly worried.
Right, but you can't be pre-disappointed because you know you're going to buy it at a reflex.
No, I'm worried. I'm
Okay,
worried.
but
Can't set,
what?
was that?
What?
well, having set your standards too high is something else as well.
Yeah.
Can they ever meet your standards now?
That's the problem.
That's the thing. If I mean, I love. Yeah, I've already proposed to the game. Basically because we've talked about how awesome it is, how much we loved it. And
I married it
everything.
first.
Yeah.
All I can say is the producers of Last of Us need to send us a check for like I don't know, $5 or something,
Yeah.
because at least 5 copies were sold directly because of the show. And
just
we
buy
talk
me a
about
burger,
it almost
man. That's all.
every episode.
But, just really
Pretzel
quick, though.
bratwurst dog at Circle K.
Those are good.
Something.
Okay. So
I'm sorry.
that's the end of our podcast for today. We're about 20 minutes over, but I wanted to get to some of our aimless discussion topics. We
Jesus,
haven't really
we
gotten
could
to
keep going.
talk about some of them. We could have definitely kept going for another hour.
I mean, I've still got so much.
Yeah, tune in the next time. Hopefully we'll get a few more of our topics in. Hopefully you like our table. Hopefully our audio sounds better. We hung some audio tiles in the room.
You can't see them, but they're
You can't see them, but they're there. We're trying to improve the experience for you.
Plus,
The
Hogan is on Terry's
Hulk
mic.
mic's here, buddy.
Yep. As always, you can email us, aimlessadventure@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter at aimlessadventure without the E. You can find us on Instagram. at aimlessadventure. Facebook.com/group/aimlessadventure. You can see our 9-minute Fumble video on YouTube. Help us get to 500 subscribers. We're gonna
Please.
Yeah,
It takes
that-
a second to subscribe.
Yeah,
Please do it. We want our own
And we're going to
name
have a
on
lot
YouTube.
more content coming.
we're also in talks to maybe partner with a YouTube partner. So, what?
We got to save that. That's going to be, if that happens, that's going to be a big announcement.
So we are in talks to partner with somebody on YouTube to help us promote our content. Hopefully you like what we're doing. We constantly work to improve. I know all of my spare time, all of John's spare time, we're constantly talking about it. We built this table this week. It's been amazing. So, please continue to tune in. Shoot us an email. You want us to read your email on the air live? We'll do that. Hopefully we'll be able to bring this to Twitch at some point. We would like to bring our live stream to Twitch and maybe get live questions from you. But anyway, that'll be it for our show.
And thank you guys who have subscribed and who are watching our videos, who are liking,
Yes.
clicking, sharing. Before we go, thank all of you guys for doing that for us.
Yep.
We greatly,
Also-
greatly appreciate it.
If you subscribe on our YouTube channel, send us an email saying so, because you can win an assigned in television by Keith Robin.
For sure. Keith Robinson.
Yeah, Robinson.
Yep.
Said.
All right. Well, thank you all very much, and we will chat at you later.
Quest accepted. Now let's take a little trip. Listen along as 5 nerds spit. E3 Comic-Con, the forest of indoor. Talking about tech, sports, and so much more. We'll suplex your mind with our random topics. Pull up a chair and get your geek fix. No cheat code needed. Just stay unseated. Pretty soon this epic quest will be completed. Our casts are full of passion and emotion. Pop the top on our 12-ounce mana potion. If I know one thing, I know it for sure. We'd love to have you join on our aimless adventure. Press and play is like pushing the start button, saying what we feel, now there ain't no frontin'. If you've ever been embarrassed about what you like, rest assured we'll talk about it on the mic. Wax and Geek speak as we sip from our flagon, thinking about Daenerys, the queen of dragons. Before we open the chest to see the treasures within, call up the thieves to check traps for the win. Any negativity trying to increase aggro, I ain't worried about it, I'll make the saving throw. Anytime we gain a fan, it touches my heartbeat. It's like Coolidge Kid 1. Join the party. It's dope as shit seeing our plans unfurled. What are we doing tonight? Taking over the world. Started in a garage like Eddie Vedder. Yeah, I saw the movie, but the book was better. I know by now your interest is peaking. We got a +2, Mike of speaking. Talking about the league's leading scorers. Also our deaths in the tomb of horrors. Tell a friend if you like our show, y'all. Poker listeners gotta catch 'em all. Geekzilla. Or a little nerdling. In our cast, everyone will find something that they can relate to or even laugh about. So hit us up on Facebook and give us a shout. I guess what I'm saying is you're not alone. So pull up a speaker and make yourself at home.